Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. And if you're a returning subscriber, as always, welcome back. Listen, guys, I uploaded a video a couple of hours ago about how I thought it might be possible that Ed Reed may go back to Bethune Cookman University. And while I was doing that, Roland Martin had Ed Reed on there, and he also had the acting president for Bethune Cookman on there. And I gotta be honest, they both gave their sides of the story, you know, and a lot of stuff was revealed. And a lot of what I said in my videos was true. Reggiethias was the problem, but we'll get into that. So first thing I'm gonna do, I guess Roland Martin wouldn't mind me showing the link to the thing. I mean, you can go to his channel too. I mean, just go to Roland Martin's channel, YouTube channel, and check it out, because it just happened recently. But the president was on there first. And this is what I got out of it. And I'm going to name some points of what the president said. I'm going to go into what Ed Reed said. And then we'll go on to Reggiethias at the end. First thing first, what I got. Now, I got to give Roland Martin props. He didn't let the president dance in circles with these questions. And from that, I've seen the president seem like he was getting frustrated at certain parts of it. And I think he really couldn't answer a lot of the questions. And I think it's because he couldn't say too much of something that he knows that may be a little off. Now, that's just my opinion. And that's how I saw it. But some of the stuff he said, I mean, I think that he was honest about some of the stuff, but it was a little ticky-tacky if you ask me. Like, he said when he asked, Roland Martin had asked him, you know, about Ed Reed, when he was hiring Ed Reed, he said, I asked Ed Reed 3 things. He said the first thing, he said, I told Ed Reed 3 things. Could he do 3 things? He said, and I want y'all to pay attention. He said, the first thing is, yeah, Ed, this is a Christian university. You know, we believe in God and stuff like that. Is that a problem for you? He said, Ed said no. So the second thing is, Ed, you know, we want to help get you to surround you with the coaching staff that'll be good for you. Now, that I don't understand. What that mean? They was going to pick his coaching staff for him? Because they mentioned, oh, Ed, you never really been a head coach, so we want to ease your transition. So I guess they wanted to bring some people from their staff on there to help Reed. Ed Reed, he said, okay, he was cool with that. Another thing is, they said, yeah, Ed, we coming off of 2 hurricanes. This is what he said. We coming off of 2 hurricanes, and, you know, the grounds are not what they, you know, we want them to be. Is that a problem for you, you know, setting up and all this stuff, and you still want to coach here, being that, you know, we had this problem with the weather and stuff like that? He said Ed was cool with it. Now, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. That sounds right. Now, if you're listening to it, and you're not really knowing the story or whatever, you would think that the university president was right. And in a way, some of the stuff he said, which I'll get into, I believed him. But another thing he said was this. And then he asked him about, you know, firing Ed Reed and what was the problem you had with the stuff going on this past week. He said, number one, Ed Reed is not authorized to take videos on the campus. I don't understand that. If you have an agreement to be a head coach or something like that, why you can't take videos? What's so secret? It's not an Air Force base or anything like that. Why would you have to hide that? That's weird. I mean, and if he didn't have authorization to take videos, that's a real statement that you would have to sign for. Nothing was signed. So that law wouldn't apply to him. Even though he's there working out of faith, he's not under contract. So he can, you know, record just like students record. And that's one of the things, you know. I want to make sure my mic was on. The other thing that was said that I got out, he said, the whole campus doesn't look like that. When Ed Reed showed that, I want to be straight, the whole campus, that's not how the whole campus looks. So he wanted to, you know, get that out in his defense. And for that, I believed him. I don't think the whole campus looked trashy like what Ed Reed showed. And he said, Roland Martin asked him, he said, what was the last straw why you fired Ed Reed? Now, y'all pay attention to this. Check this out. This man said the last straw was when he was in the car, when he did the initial rant, where he's saying he admitted that he don't work there and it's hard. He talked to Coach Prime. It's hard going in there, and he did more stuff in 3.5 weeks than the other faculty. Now, that wasn't the bad rant. If you looked at all of those 3 rants, that wasn't the bad one. That was the most mildest one. Guess what he said? He said, oh, he had the booty music playing in the back and pumping in the back. Come on with the bullshit. Come on with that, man. It's a black school. They play rap music and probably stuff worse than that. And the song he was playing in the car, a lot of people heard. And it ain't like he ain't heard that on the campus. So he was like, oh, it goes against our values and all that. Listen, just looking for an excuse. So he said, who was the one who fired Deion Sanders? Ed Reed. Now, this is the part that's funny. Before the thing even started, this is how you know it was a setup. What's the guy's name? Drake? The president? The standing president, Drake? First and foremost, I'm going to say that. He's sitting up there looking like Ruben Studdard, like he about to bust a note. Oh, I'm the one. That was all on me. I fired him. I fired him. That's typical higher up strategy. The one who's the highest don't have to explain nothing. He'll take the brunt of it. I'll say I did it to take the heat off other people while everybody know where the bullshit lied. And that was between Reggiethias and his beef with Ed Reed. And we'll get into that. Now, we still on the president. So they started talking about the alumni and all this other stuff, right? I didn't know this. He said alumni annual giving is less than 1%. Less than 1% at Bethune Cookman University. That means people that went there is not giving back to the school or showing support for the school. And, you know, he asked so many, Roland Martin asked him why it was, and, you know, they went to a big discussion. And, man, that was crazy. Another thing was this. He said they got backlash. The school got backlash from some of the alumni from BCU about Ed Reed getting dismissed. So they was like, you know, he ain't did nothing that bad. I mean, come on, man. He'd have been good for the school. And I think, honestly, all in all, this was a bad match. A bad match, period. Ed Reed, he didn't go with the way he is, did not go with what their directives was. And I just think this is a situation. Now, I don't want to bring up Deion Sanders, but I think this is the reason why Deion Sanders separated from J-State, because of differences. And there's nothing wrong with that. Differences in philosophy and the way of seeing things. Nothing wrong with that. But the president, I'm not really upset with him. He's doing what he has to do. He's the figurehead of the school. He'll take the brunt of it. And Roland Martin did say, hey, maybe if I come down there I'll be in Florida. I'll come down there on the 2nd or the 3rd of February, and I'll do a show on your campus. You can have the students and everything. He was like, yeah, I'm sure of that. That's too much time. It's going to give me time to mount a defense. And he was like, you can have the board of trustees. He's like, well, I'm not going to have them out there. I don't know if that's shiesty or not, because I don't know how that operates, how available they are and all this stuff. Or he was trying to, you know, keep them out of it. But he did say one thing that was crazy to me. He said, Disney sponsors the school. Listen to this. Disney sponsors the school. And with Disney sponsoring school, Disney called after seeing the rant Ed Reed did and said, what are you guys going to do about this? See that? He tried to slide it. So Roland Martin said, well, what that mean? Oh, no, they just called. So, but they asked for Ed Reed. No, Roland Martin going to ask questions. They asked for Ed Reed to be fired? You to fire Ed Reed? No, we didn't. He just asked, what were we going to do about it? First of all, let me break something down to you. Yeah, Disney can sponsor you as a HBCU. Disney can't say, hey, get rid of Ed Reed or we won't give you no more money. They can just say, hey, we're going to drop the sponsor. He didn't say anything racial, right? He exposed the problem that you visibly saw. And I'm like, why would Disney say something? I don't believe that shit. Mickey Mouse ain't got nothing to do with that practice field. Let's keep it the fuck real. And I believe that he just named Disney because they might have called and said, hey, is everything okay down there? But, you know, he didn't say too much of what Disney said. He just wanted to throw that big name out there so everybody be like, oh, Disney, you don't want to lose Disney. Sorry, Ed. Bullshit. And we're going to get off of him for a second. Now, what happens? Ed Reed come on there with his boy. Ed Reed come on there, and I'm not laughing, man, at what he said, but he said some real stuff. He said he studied the school history before he took the job. He said he was ready to take the job. He said he apologized multiple times over the situation, what he said. Should he have said it like that? No. He said they know I care about them kids and love them kids. You know what I'm saying? But before I get into Ed Reed, I'm missing something and I apologize for it. Roland Martin said to the president before he left, he said, well, listen, with stuff that you saying is contradictory to what I'm hearing. And he started showing some Instagram posts and some Twitter posts. And then he said, alumni and the parents have come forward and said that y'all at the school said players are sharing helmets, football helmets. Players don't have no showers, no shower facility for the athletes. The students got to wash their own uniforms. He said, what's going on? President denied it. No, he's sitting up there. No, that's not true. When is lunchtime? Fat ass. Listen, anyway, so getting back to Ed Reed, you can see the passion. But see, Ed Reed, with him talking, and when I say passion, you know, you can see Ed Reed very emotional when he talked. You could see him. He was talking and he was doing this, and it's not funny because I mean I seen he was really hurt, but that's the way the way he was moving and all of this stuff. And I'm like, yo, it just made me think back about the rant when he was doing. I'm like, yo, that really was him. But I mean, I didn't see too much of it, but I did see this. A lot of times when people are like Ed Reed and they speak with their hands, and somebody tell me if I'm lying, because a lot of us have been through that or seen this, they take it as aggression, or they use it as aggression to get you out the door. And I think that's what they did to Ed Reed. I mean, I've said that before, but I'm sure that's what Reggiethias did with Ed Reed. They used how he acts, his character, against him, to where he was threatening. And if he was threatening, his passion don't mean nothing because it's a confusion of if he's being passionate or being aggressive. See what I'm saying? And Reggiethias used that to his advantage. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you why he did, why I think he did. But let's get back to what the president denied about the students, right? Ed Reed said this. Ed Reed said the kids don't have locker rooms. Said they don't even have showers. He said, don't have your hands in the pockets of football. Now I don't know I know what he meant by that, but I'm not going to touch that too much, right? Ed said he financed a lot out of his own pocket. And this is the thing that was funny. He said he turned down the J-State job. He said Coach Prime was offering the job to him or suggesting the job to him to go over. He said, and he was offered Gramblin's job. Now, the Grambling job, I don't know if it was this year, but he said he was offered the job. Because remember, he's from Louisiana. Now, check this out. He also said that, and this was crazy right here. He said that he picked Bethune Cookman over both of them schools because it was near the water. He's familiar with Florida. You know what I'm saying? And he researched the university. That right there is a cool thing. He researched the university before deciding to go there. He said he researched the history of Mary Bethune Cookman and everything. And he thought it was a fit for him and what he had to bring. That's good, man. That's good. But then they had the kids on there. And the kids spoke the same thing. Yeah, we've been out there, this and that. And then this is the thing that's funny. The president said, I walk the campus every day. Do you now? Ed Reed said you don't. The kids said, we ain't never seen him. We ain't know who he was until today. Or one dude said, I seen him at a classic, a football game, I think he said. And he was like, that's when I saw him. I didn't know who he was. Now, I remember when I was in college, the president would talk to you, your class, when you first get there in the first few days to introduce himself for who he was. So I'm like, if he the interim coach, where is he at? You got new enrollment every semester. They have to know who the president is. And, schools show their appreciation. Hey, I'm the president of the university. Like, we went to the chapel, and, because it could hold a lot of people. And he spoke to us like, from the pulpit or whatever, and introduced himself and welcomed them to the university. Who the fuck is welcoming these kids to the university? And that's the thing that's funny. The president said, hey, student tuition grows everything. Don't you think if they are customers and the parents of the customers, you come out and tell them that you appreciate them being there? That's how I believe that Ed Reed's office was dirty. Then he said, oh, Ed Reed didn't have no office. But Ed Reed said he had an office, and the office had windows. It was in a building where the windows didn't even open. You know what I'm saying? Ed Reed said a lot of stuff, man, but he went in on Reggiethias, and he kept going at Reggie. He said Reggiethias is evil. He said he came down there with the young men, took them to a Bethune Cookman basketball game, said doing the warm-up stuff, Reggiethias ain't even come out there and meet the people. Neighbors like, hey, where's Reggiethias at? Where's the AD? And, because their kids are coming to the school to play. They want to come and meet the AD. Reggiethias knew they was out there. He didn't come out there. He said when he came out there and had another man fixing his pants and I guess he was like real snooty or whatever. That's crazy. And I see it rubbed Ed the wrong way. So that let me know Ed had friction with him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this guy think he all that. You know what I'm saying? And I think they both just was bumping heads. I forgot who it was. Oh, man, I keep doing this. I saw another YouTube video yesterday where somebody said, you know what? It's just a battle of two stars. Reggiethias was an all-star. What's the name's a Hall of Famer and a pro. And sometimes you have these stars, they have egos. Reggie might have an ego. Ed probably might have an ego. And I think that's one of the major things of it. But another thing I think, though, guys, I'm being honest with you, the situation with how Reggie was dealing with Ed, I think ticked Ed off. And this is what I think, honestly, Ed went through. And this is just my opinion, because, I've been working long enough, in situations, and I figure around men, I figure the way everything is explained, this is what happened. Reggiethias is the AD. He's Ed Reed's boss. Also, he's the middleman between him and the president. Now, the kid's saying that the president don't walk around, so that lets me know either the president is not always on campus, or when he is on campus, only person has, would know about it up close would be who? The AD, because what? He reports to the president. So Ed, while Ed is out there doing what he's doing with the students and occupying his time, Reggiethias is coaching and whatever. When he do get calls from the president, hey, how's Ed doing or this and that, I think he was giving him he was putting bad takes out on him. You know what I'm saying? And Ed didn't really know nothing about it. So once the friction and stuff blew up, it might have been one of them things where Reggie was like, you know what, man, I don't know if I can do this no more. You can get rid of him, or I can just leave, because I don't think I can work with him. And I think it was like that, because if you've seen how animated Ed Reed was, Ed Reed said, I was the chief of staff making way more money than I make here and having way less responsibility. He said, I got a 14-year-old son out there doing football and all that stuff. I can't support him because I'm out here dealing with this. He said, so don't check my conviction. You know what I'm saying? I was here. So, but in a way, when Ed was sitting there, I just think like, Ed brought up like a lot of the history. He brought up the Ku Klux Klan and people getting hung and all this other stuff. And he was just going crazy. He's like, why we got to be like this? And I felt him on this. But like the thing that made me mad with the president was he brought up the music. Bro, listen. I've been at, you know, it's a African-American college. What kind of music you gonna play? African-American music, rap music, all kind of stuff. Ain't nothing you ain't liable to hear on a college campus. Oh, we have a certain way. And Roland Martin said something that was key. He said, well, let's keep it real. If you're gonna get mad at him for having it in the thing, are y'all policing the people around there, the students, playing the rap music, making them stop playing? Are you doing that? Let's keep it fair. If you're going to say it's not good for him, then it ain't good for everybody. He's sitting there, yeah. And that's the thing, man. It's like, we don't call out the real at any given time. And then my thing is this. I do believe Reggiethias snaked it. And I'm going to tell you why. Everybody talking but Reggie. And he said your name multiple times. Called you out. Said you a snake. You know what I'm saying? But Reggiethias got a sweet gig. He the AD and the basketball coach. And another thing I was thinking about, guys, and I'm trying to wrap this up. Another thing I was thinking about was this. The competition is serious. What if Ed Reed come in there and he take off like Coach Prime? They start winning a lot of games. Start going to championships. Everybody start buzzing about them like they did with Coach Prime at J-State. Say Bethune Cookman ain't doing too good. Could you see that? Who the pressure on? Reggiethias. I don't think he wanted to hold that weight. And that's being honest. But the only thing, one of the main things about Reggiethias, now, you know, Ed Reed called him a snake and stuff. I say, I believe he did Ed Reed dirty. But this is one thing I'm going to say bad about Reggiethias that I don't respect. Reggiethias wanted him to sign a letter that was written by somebody else. I guess Reggiethias had his secretary or something write it, where he said, I'm withdrawing my name. Ed Reed, am withdrawing my name from consideration of the coach of Bethune Cookman University. That's why Ed Reed kept saying, I ain't signing that. I ain't even write that. I'm not doing it. Right? That's the first thing. He made the letter up and tried to make Ed Reed sign it so he could gracefully bow out and make them look good. That's bullshit for him to do. You know what I mean? That's some corporate, like, bullshit. And the reason why I don't respect him, the second thing is this. He don't give the letter to Ed Reed. Ed Reed report right to you. If anybody gonna know that he getting fired, it would come from you. You never even went there. What you do, you went over to the girl that you thought was his assistant, and you gave her the letter to give to him, and you got your ass out of there. How guilty can you look, bro? You know what I'm saying? How guilty can you look? And I'm being honest with y'all guys, man. I don't trust no nigga that look like Gregory Abbott. You know what I'm saying? I can already tell how he was when he came in there with the letter. He walked up to the lady like, yo, here. She was like, what is this? And he was like, it's explaining to Ed Reed that he not going to be the coach. He was like, well, why are you giving it to me? Why don't you give it to him? I guarantee you, he turned into Gregory Abbott. You know what I'm saying? And I know you was. You was all up in there. Oh, I can't stop thinking of the things he do. If I give this letter of resignation to you, yeah, you was scared as hell. That's why you ran to that girl and dropped it off. Clown. Listen, this thing is messed up. I don't think Ed Reed, and Ed Reed said he still want to coach there because he still want to help the kids, and he got kids that have already signed up. And that's the last thing. He had kids that already signed up, and I don't think they can get out of, one of my subscribers left me a comment, I don't think they can get out of those letters. You know what I'm saying? Letters of intent or whatever that they signed to go to the school. Because he kept saying, hey, you know, I told these kids to come here, now I can't. I'm not going to be here. And like I said, another thing, he feels bad. Like he set them up. They use him to set the kids up. Anyway, man, it is what it is, and it's a damn shame we're still doing each other crazy in this day and age. But I'm Stock Market Steve. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment, man, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.